Hey everyone, Cole Caparin here. Thank you for stopping by for another video. So I just got back from family vacation in Florida. I was out there for a week, and while I was there, something happened that made me reanalyze kind of every part of all the different parts that have allowed me to have a successful music career. All the different things that I've done, the principles that have kind of got me here in an actual full-time, legitimately successful music career. And I have a couple new perspectives that I wanted to share with you. And I think and I hope that these things will help you have a music career. Or if you already have a music career, I think it will help enhance your music career. So we go down to Miramar Beach in Florida, right next to Destin. We spend a week there, and I took all my camera gear. For those of you that don't know, I'm an avid, amateur photographer, and I take all my camera gear with me everywhere. It's one of my favorite things about traveling is trying to snap cool photos. Now, almost the whole week, just no opportunities presented itself. The beach was beautiful, everything was beautiful, but not much happened that was like a photographer's dream. I just didn't come across anything. And on the second to last night that we were there, I was like, I'm just going to take my camera over to the beach. It was like the middle of the night. It was like 11 p.m. The wife and the kid were asleep already. And I was like, I'm going to walk across the street to the beach, and I'm going to try to catch some stars over the ocean. Let's just see what happens. So I grabbed my camera bag, my tripod, and I walked across the street, and I got down to the ocean, and I looked up, and there wasn't a star in the sky. It's pitch black, there's nothing happening, and I was like, well, that's a bummer. I guess I'm getting no photos on this whole trip. I promise there's a principle to this, so stay with me. So we're almost to the end of our trip. I'm just standing on the beach by myself in the middle of the night, and I was just taking a second to take it in. I could barely see the ocean. I could barely see the waves coming up right in front of me, but I was just taking a second by myself trying to be peaceful and have a moment. And while I was out there, I was like, what can I actually shoot? Is there anything out here that I can shoot? I have my camera. I have all my gear. Can I find something? And as I was kind of standing there looking around, I saw a little bit of lightning off in the distance. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, over the ocean. And I was watching it, and a couple minutes later, a little bit more lightning. And a couple minutes later, a little bit more lightning. There is a parallel to your music career with this, and I promise you. And I was like, I've never tried to capture any lightning shots before. It wasn't very impressive looking lightning. It was kind of small and in the distance, and the clouds were just lighting up a little bit, but I set everything up. I pulled the camera out, I set the tripod up, and I'm like, let's see what we can do. And so I sat down on the beach with my finger on the shutter button of the camera, just waiting for the sky to light up. And every time the sky lit up, I hit the button. Now, quick side note, the autofocus on these cameras, like the one I'm shooting on right now, is too slow to shoot lightning with. So you have to use manual focus. For manual focus, you have to set the actual focus for however far away the thing is that you're shooting, except every lightning strike is in a different place. Not only distance, but different location. So manual focus is just a best guess. But I sat there for an hour, and I did the best that I could. And after an hour and a half of doing this, I had shot hundreds of photos, and I was positive that almost none of them had turned out. But the lightning kept getting bigger and stronger, and it turned into an actual lightning storm out over the ocean. And so I just kept going until there was no more lightning. This right here is the shot that I ended up getting. And it is now one of my favorite photos I've ever taken in my whole life. Now, what does this have to do with music and your music career? Well, that got me thinking. There's a saying that I really like. I'm probably gonna screw it up, but it goes something like, success is when opportunity meets preparedness. And I really like that because that means I had worked on my skill set as a photographer. I had gotten my gear all set up, and I understand my gear. That's the preparedness side of it. And then the opportunity side of it just happened to be that this crazy lightning storm just started right in front of me. But while I was sitting there, I was thinking about something else. And that something else is how I just have to show up, how we just have to show up. I went out on the beach that night to shoot stars. There were no stars. And I think 5 years ago, Colt, and I think most of you watching probably would have been like, well, we tried. there's no stars, it is what it is, it's pitch black out, and I'm not gonna get any shots today and turn around and go back to the Airbnb. But I decided to just show up and try to capture something anyway. I had no ambition of capturing lightning. I had no ambition of like getting one of the coolest shots. I didn't think I would get one of the coolest shots I've ever shot. And it made me think about my music career and how much of my music career is just showing up. Just show up. You want to be a mix engineer? No one's hiring you to mix? Record something yourself, and then you can practice mixing that thing that you recorded. You want to be a recording engineer, but no artists are hitting you up? Write your own songs and record them, and then mix them, and then master them. Like, show up and create your own opportunities. And it also made me think about like how often you might try for something and actually not get anything of any value. But when you stop showing up, that's when the opportunities stop coming. That's when the moments stop happening. So in the spirit of that, here are 6 other things that I think are absolute necessities to have a music career. And I think, or any career, but I think you can apply this to whatever you want to do, whether you want to be a songwriter or a rock star or a recording engineer, a mix engineer, mastering engineer, a YouTuber. Like, you can apply this to all of it. The first and most important is be a good hang. Always have a good attitude, be positive, be a person that's enjoyable to be around. Super important. The next thing is keep your word. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. If you say you're gonna be somewhere, be there on time or early. The next thing is to work harder than those around you. So many people think that this is just about innate built-in talent. But I'm here to tell you that I don't have much of that built-in talent. Every skill set that I have, playing guitar, mixing music, talking to a camera, these are all things that I struggled with, and I self-analyzed, and I worked really hard to get better. Work harder than those around you. Put in more hours. But without this next part, putting more hours in almost doesn't matter, and that is be efficient with your time. Make the most out of every single minute in your day. My entire studio is set up so that way I can create and work on the maximum amount of songs every single year. And my whole setup, my whole workflow helps me do that. And the next thing is getting yourself in front of people. I've personally used social media to do that. I've personally had coffee with nearly 2,000 people because those are the ways that I get myself in front of people. That's how I build relationships with people that then makes them interested in hiring me. The default is obviously you have to be good at what you do. So work on your skill set. Really take these things seriously and try to be the best, the very best at what you do in the entire world. There's no point in doing any of this if you're not shooting for the absolute stars. But at the end of the day, you gotta show up. And sometimes when we show up, it doesn't work out. Sometimes when we show up, we get this. And this is a metaphor for that incredible song or that incredible mix or whatever it is that you do. This is a metaphor for that. This video is sponsored by Sweetwater. There are links down below for every single thing that I use. If you use those links, it goes a long ways to help support this channel. And you can buy pretty much everything you need down there. Once you hit any one of those links, you can purchase anything that you need, not just the stuff that's listed down there. So thank you for using those links anytime you need to purchase any piece of musical gear. And thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you, or I hope at least this was inspiring to you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.